Welcome back to a very special episode of Party XP. I'm your host, Jeff, and I'm sitting here alone in my car on site at a new gig I just started this week. Lacan is deathly ill, and so here I am riding solo once more, right? So I don't really have anything going on. Like, I've been super busy securing work and, starting this new gig is, working on site with the local university. I haven't had a lot of time for games, not gonna lie to you. Been very busy. But what I do have time for is Party XP. And what I wanted to do, the only thing that I could really think of that I wanted to talk about today, was just the future of the show. Now, we're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Lacan's not going anywhere. We're still going to be doing this every 2 weeks. You're going to get an episode. Maybe once in a while you'll get a bonus episode, right? To quench that thirst a little bit. But I wanted to talk about some more things I wanted to do with this show and with the brand in general. Starting with video content. I know I had a nice little streak going for a couple of weeks there with video content. I was doing some Let's Plays, having a little fun with it. I know people really seem to enjoy it. It just got a little bit too time consuming, and I didn't really have time to play all that much anymore. So unfortunately, those went away. I will finish Kirby at some point, I promise. I know I've been saying that. It's been like the running joke for the past 8 months. I will finish Kirby. But for now, I don't know how many Let's Plays I'm going to be doing. Lacan might do some. I don't really know, but don't expect too many from me, at least for the next 3 months, and possibly more. What I do want to do, though, is do some videos of us either recording, getting together and hitting some local game spots, hitting some local, card shops in the area. I do want to start doing more of that, social media-y, trendy kind of content like that. With me and Lacan and maybe a few of our friends, right? Getting to meet people, that run the stores, talk to them a little bit about why they wanted to, start an XYZ store, gaming, card shop, whatever, right? And do some other things too. Maybe hit up some conventions over a weekend sometime. Talk to some independent game developers. Talk to anybody really in pop culture and see kind of what's going on and learn a little bit more about that. So that's kind of something that I've always really wanted to do more of. Unfortunately, just with the way that this podcast is set up, meaning we don't get paid for it. It's a little hard to do all of that, right? And to take money out of your pocket that you may or may not have, especially with the way things are going today, and go to a convention and, pay for train tickets, pay for food, pay for event tickets, or if you're going to a special screening of some kind, right? It's challenging to do all of that when you're an independent podcast and you're not making any money off of your product. So there's that. I would love to, like I said, though, hit up some conventions, talk to some people, which leads me kind of into the next point, and I want to do some interviews. I don't know if it's going to be under the Party XP brand or whether I'm going to come up with something. I've always had the idea of kind of separating this, doing not hardcore journalism, but, enough journalism compared to, the banter that Lacan and I do on a bi-weekly basis, right? I think that especially as the industry starts to kind of falter, both gaming and games journalism industries start to falter a little bit. Not to go back to that. I mean, you can go back and listen to my last solo episode where I kind of go into it a little bit. And, it's only gotten worse since that point, too. I mean, my last episode that I did by myself was just a couple months ago. And since then, we've had so many more layoffs. We've had the threat of even Ubisoft going under, which you can, mourn Ubisoft whichever way you want. But at the end of the day, it's still a lot of jobs in the video games industry going away if Ubisoft were to go away. So I do want to kind of be that person, be the change you want to see. And I've already started to do that a little bit, not a lot, but, I started my own little gaming outlet. It's called GameOni.gg. If you follow me on social media, you've seen me post a few things about it here and there. It's not really what I've wanted it to be, I kind of wanted it to be something a little bit more hard hitting, and then I would cut it with like the game reviews and things like that. But unfortunately, it's just been a lot of game reviews and not a lot of hard cutting journalism. Just again, just based on the time that I have and all the other shit that I have going on in my life. It's tough to really sit down and do some investigative journalism, especially when you're not getting paid for it. So, I have to find things that'll pay me, and then, I have to do some things where, some passion projects too alongside that. So, I guess we'll see how things go. I'm not really sure kind of how the future's gonna what the future's gonna hold for that site. But at least for now, I do have a little outlet. Sorry, I had some guy mean mugging me. I don't know if he was like a paramedic or something. Because I'm sitting here in my car fucking talking into a microphone. Anyway, where was I? Yeah. So I also wanted to kind of extend that a little bit to the audio platform, right? And to kind of do sort of a feature investigative journalism kind of thing where I would talk to people in the gaming industry, no matter, who it is, right? And kind of learn their story a little bit, get their story out there. If they're like a games developer, get their game out there, get their company out there, learn a little bit more about the games that these great independent creators and developers are making. If you're just somebody in space, right? If you're I don't want to use the word influencer, but like, if you're a streamer or somebody like that and you want to get your story out there, yeah, sure. I'll talk to you for a little bit. Why not? Even if you're like a games journalist or an X Games developer and you're, thinking about leaving the games industry, if you're somebody that's just tangentially, kind of working in games, if you were in like games PR, I don't know, if you're the janitor at Nintendo, I'll talk to you. Sure, why not, right? But I do want to kind of do more of that because I feel like we're remiss just kind of doing this bi-weekly show where we kind of have, book club and we get together and we talk for a little bit and we talk about whatever game or movie or show that we're, discussing. And then we, put the episode out, you put it on social media, and then that's kind of it, right? I wanted to do a little bit more. And I just felt like this was that opportunity to just kind of let everybody know that I am interested in doing a little more. I've been trying to post as much as I can on social media now. I took us off of X. It's not Twitter anymore now. It's full-blown X. I moved us over to Blue Sky. It just kind of felt like there was a more welcoming community over there. And it felt like I didn't have to play by a certain somebody's rules to get my shit noticed. Not to mention the fact that our main product is linked out to another website, and X.com actively suppresses external links. So we weren't getting anywhere. We were really treading water. You can count on your two hands the number of actual human followers we had on X.com, the everything app. And I would say, I want to say like 4 or 5 of those are just like Mila Khan and our friends. So like 5 additional people other than us follow the account on X. And I think we have like 60 something followers or 50 something followers on Blue Sky, which I think just shows the reach of the platform. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been fun getting to talk to some people and meet some new people and discuss games and just not have to worry about getting into a flame war. And look, we've talked about it before. Like I'm a cretin from the early days of the internet. A flame war doesn't scare me, right? I have no problems getting into it with somebody online. A little too easy, right? 67 followers as of today, by the way. I think that when you have a more positive space to grow, you're more likely to grow. When you have an environment that's fostering growth, I think you have that opportunity to grow much easier than a place that doesn't actually want anybody to grow. It doesn't want to let anybody get bigger than the brand. And I think that's what a lot of the modern social media platforms have kind of gotten to at this point, especially, with the people in charge and whatnot. So we're there. We're there on Blue Sky. We're still on Instagram. Lacan takes care of that. He posts cool stuff every once in a while. Instagram's bad for my productivity, so I stay off of the platform. But I am on Blue Sky. If you talk to the Party XP account on Blue Sky, that's me. I do want to post some stuff on there, maybe some short video clips, maybe just some fun stuff. I've been playing a lot of, Dokkan Battle. Obviously, it's a 10th anniversary. We're just wrapping up with that now, so I have a lot of Dokkan Battle thoughts and, gameplay. Maybe post some Pokemon TCG Pocket content. I don't play a lot, but I feel like the content always does well. So that's kind of why I want to post more about it. So if there's anything else, any other mobile games, because I'm going to be out of pocket here for a couple of months. I won't be home very much to play some real games here. But if you have any mobile game recommendations, let me know. By all means, I am looking for something else, especially now that Dokkan is slowing down. I have One Piece Treasure Cruise. I have Puzzles and Dragons downloaded. I don't know if I'm really feeling them. I could always re-download Master Duel on my phone and play some of that and share some gameplay. But, it's just a matter of what people want to see and what does well. And quite frankly, Pokemon always does well. So that's kind of where I'm at with posting, just short, bite-sized social content, doing, like I said, doing a little more, right? So that's kind of my thought about everything going on there. So that's kind of where I've been at, that's really what's been on my mind is, as I'm trying to secure more work and do more for my, do more for my family, do more for my friends, do more for, people like you that listen, that want to just kind of disconnect from all the shit going on in the world and just listen to a couple of friends complain about video games for an hour, right? Just anything to kind of escape what's been going on out there lately. I feel like there's an opportunity to do more. And I'd like to. It's just a matter of having the time and the bandwidth during the day to actually do that. Which is a whole other set of things entirely. And then what do people actually want to see? What do you guys actually want from us? What more can we do? What different things do you want us to do? Do you want us to do, like, you want us to crack open boxes of trading cards? Like, I'll do that shit. I'll do that easily. You want us to do, like, product reviews? I'll do that too. You want us to do gameplay footage? You want us to do, I don't know, whatever else is out there. Even just video versions of the pod. Do you want that? I mean, we tried doing it once before. It kind of was a whole rigmarole to kind of get our video and audio to link up. And we still live in the one bedroom that we had before we had the baby. Like, it's a complete disaster area, so I just have like a regular background up the whole time I'm talking. So it's not really super engaging and super interesting. But I mean, if you guys want to see it, we can do it. So, there's a number of different ways that you can let us know. Leave us a comment, leave us a review on Spotify or any other podcast network that you use. Give us, we would appreciate 5 stars because everybody wants 5 stars, but be honest and tell us what you want us to do. Tell us if there's something else you want us to cover. You can link up with us on social media. Lacan has the Instagram, like I said. I have the Blue Sky account. We have a YouTube channel. It hasn't been updated in a while. That's on me. But like I said, if we can figure out kind of what people actually want from us, maybe there's a chance that can get updated here and there as, time progresses and whatnot. So, like I said, I want 2025. We've been doing this podcast for almost 2 years now. Actually, I think a little over 2 years now. This will be the 3rd year, I guess, we do the show. And I just want to do a little bit more, right? And I want to kind of take us to that next level. And hopefully we can start to get paid for this shit, because doing this for free, doing this as a passion project is always going to be fun, but really getting paid to do what you love is the most rewarding thing that you can imagine, right? And as somebody that's been getting paid to be a creative for a number of years now, it is incredibly rewarding. And I would love nothing more than to not have to work in, healthcare or whatever other sort of industry I'm in to do that. And if I can get paid to talk about video games and movies and TV shows all day and shoot the shit with my friend, like, that would be great. But we don't get the money if we don't put out good stuff. And if we don't meet a need that fans, that podcast listeners, that social content consumers want, we're not going to get that money, right? You're not going to separate yourself from your money that easily, right? Just because, oh, we have a dream, we would love to, get paid for this work. That's nice. Everybody on the fucking planet has a podcast and they want to get paid to do it, right? And what it is, 90% of the time, is it's just a couple of jamokes sitting around with microphones just rambling. And you could say that that's what we do. It could very well be that's what we do, and that's what you think we do. I would like to think that we have at least a little bit more structure behind it, because I've seen what that looks like, right? When you have a podcast that's just a bunch of people rambling over microphones. Like, I've seen what that looks like. It's not interesting at all. I don't know how people sit there and would listen to that, especially when the content and the people aren't particularly interesting, right? So there's always that, right? That you're kind of competing with. And then also you're competing with people, like, even in just video games, like IGN, GameSpot. You're competing with people with tons of backing. There are, a ton of other movie podcasts. Everybody and their mother has a movie podcast, right? Where they review movies and talk about movies and TV shows and all that other shit. There's so many different options. So I'm just trying to get us to be a cut above the very, very bottom and try to compete with some of these heavy hitters. But I just want to know where to start. I kind of know where to start, but if what I've been, kind of trained to do and what I think is the right thing isn't actually the right thing, and nobody wants to see this stuff, they just want to see, I don't know, us make fucking SFM content, right? make another Skibidi Toilet. I don't know, man. Then we'll do that. It's whatever. But I think that's kind of where I'm at. I just want to know what we can do to entice you to get more involved with the show, and what we can do to take that next step and offer an experience that the top podcasts out there do. And I think I know, like I said, I think I know what that is. I think it's a lot more video content. I think it might be more regular releases. It might be coming out with a show every week, right? It might be coming out with multiple episodes a week. It could be interviews, guest content. It could be sneak previews on games coming out. It could be a lot of that stuff. So we'll do our best. I'll do my best. I know Lacan will do his best. We'll figure this out, and we'll try to give you guys exactly what you're looking for. But help us get started. Reach out to us. Let us know what you want to see us do more of, and we'll do it. So, like we say every week, if you made it this far, thanks so much. Give us a like, give us a follow. Tell your friends about us too. Maybe they have some ideas. If you're in the games industry, give me a holler, right? Reach out to us on social media. Reach out to us via Spotify. Reach out to me via my website. I mean, reach out to me via Cision. Shit, I have a profile on Cision. If you really want to get in touch with me, you can reach out to me there too, man. If you're, I don't know, whatever else out there, if you're an actor, I don't know. If you're anybody involved with pop culture, let us know. Hit me up. We'll do an interview. I'll get your story out there. We'll have some fun, and you never know where that might take us. So, thanks for listening. Let's make 2025 awesome, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Sorry, I had some guy mean mugging me. I don't know if he was like a paramedic or something. because I'm sitting here in my car fucking talking into a microphone.